Anyway, been asked to speak a little bit about my comic book store, Parts Unknown, the comic book store here in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's 906 Spring Garden Street here, of course, in Greensboro. And we've been open for 35 years, and all we sell is comics. We don't do games, we don't do cars, we don't do clicks, we don't do Pokemon, we don't speak Cleon, and all we do is comics.
Awesome.
And and we've always been faithful to it because I've always had incredible passion for comic books. I don't care about the other stuff. And I don't really get into manga because I'm not educated enough on Japanese manga to know what to get. And if ever I attempt to get that, it's always, oh, that's old, that's not cool, why are you getting that? That's not the one, I need this one. So I just give up. So all we do is just regular comics.
Awesome. Well, now, in the shop, I've already walked around and looked. I see a lot of books. Mm-hmm. Is there a number you could put on how many you think you have here in the shop?
A lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 300 comics per box on the table. I mean, part of the magic of comics is you should have a wide variety to let people judge what they might like and what they won't like. It's possible they like it, they don't like it, I don't know. But, you should try to carry at least a little bit of everything instead of just Marvel and DC. And I'm a firm believer in giving everybody a voice, give them a chance and see what happens. So, and I'm a big fan of the trade paperbacks because let's say, for example, you've never read a comic book, if you come in here, if you get a comic book, you might be in the middle of a story arc. You may not be able to figure out what the hell's going on. But if you get a trade paperback where it has self-contained story, then you can read it. You get the whole story, the front, middle, and end. And then you might find that entertaining or challenging, hopefully, and you might want to try it again. So we kind of push that a little bit. Of course, we do carry all the new comics. I really like that a lot. I think that's something that should always be pushed strongly. We even have a section in the back called Kirbyville, and it's all dedicated to the books and characters that Jack Kirby did.
Awesome. Now, do you have a favorite character?
When I was a kid, my favorite character was the Amazing Spider-Man. But then when I got older, my favorite character became the Spirit by Will Eisner. And I got to be really lucky. I mean, I got to be friends with Eisner. He came to Greensboro twice for me. I used to see him at San Diego every year. We used to have breakfast or lunch and hang out. He was a wonderful guy. And it's really an honor to think, it's been a long time since he's passed, but we were buddies and used to, in Atlanta once, he came up to me and he just said, John, I don't have any family with me. It's a 3-day show. I said, yes, sir. And he goes, will you be my family this weekend and just meet for me for breakfast and lunch and we'll get together? And I just had almost somebody to hang out with, and I said, it'd be my honor. And we were just friends from then on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just a great, great guy. I mean, and for my money, the greatest of everybody. He's the greatest of all time. Awesome. On multiple levels.
Awesome. Yeah, The Spirit was a great book. Well written. I did see your picture back there, and I got that in the footage. Make sure we show that to the people.
Yeah, it's really funny because the Flash Gordon drawing back there from Al Williamson came on Christmas Eve of 1984, and the Eisner came on New Year's Eve of 1984.
Nice.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was a good year.
That was a good year.
But they were wonderful people, really warm people. Almost all the old timers almost were shocked that you even knew who they were. Nowadays, comic book fans are treated like marks. Hey, this is $10, that's $20, this drawing's $100. I mean, I don't like that stuff. I mean, Jack Kirby signed for me, Richard Corbin signed for me, Stan Lee signed for me, Steve Ditko signed for me. Everybody signed, and it was always for free. So I find it kind of a little distasteful that you would treat your fans who basically support your product and buy your books and make the effort to get to the shows. If they can get the money, that's great. But, they should look out for their fans better as far as instead of just treating them like, I'm just going to, I'm going to see what dollar I can squeeze out of them.
What I found at most conventions is the guys will sign one for free.
If they do that, that's cool.
And they, when the guys roll up and they got a whole box full of stuff they want signed, that's a dead mark. They're not a collector, but a reseller, and they're getting signatures to resell. And they do charge for that, which they should.
There's an interesting sidebar on that, because I kind of saw it coming, because I was at San Diego and I was at Neil Adams' table, and I wasn't his friend or anything, but I met him a few times. Neil was kind of a piece of work. But anyway, this dealer walks up to him and goes, "Hey, Neil, baby, hey, babe, I got some books for you to sign. Here, let me put it on." And he grabs this stack of books like this and just thumps them on his table. Boom! And he goes, "I'll be back in a couple hours. Sign. Thanks. You're the greatest, Neil. Bye." And I'm standing there in front of the table, and I'm looking at Neil, and I'm looking at this guy walking off, and Neil looks at me, and I go, "Man, that's rude, man.
Yeah.
That's just rude." He goes, "You see what I got to put up with?" I said, "There's no calling for that. I mean, that's ridiculous." I said, "I wouldn't do it." And he said, "Well, what I'm going to do is he's working on a sketch, commissioned sketch for somebody." And then he would grab one and sign it and toss it, and then he'd keep working. And then he felt like if he had to take a break, he'd sign it up. And then, so next time I went to the San Diego show, he had a sign on his table. First 5 autographs free. The next year, first 3 autographs are free. After that, everything's $5. And then after that, first autograph free. After that, they're $10. And then next year, it was like all autographs are $10.
Yeah.
And when he finally, last time he did it, they were $50. But if people line up and they want to pay that, you know what? If you can get it, that's great.
Yeah.
But I think there should be a sense of I don't know, more appreciation of the people that support you and buy your books. You know, the whole idea, if you give one free, I've seen a lot of guys doing it now where they have a little cup, and it says, "This is for Comic Legal Defense Fund.
Right.
If you want to make a donation to the defense fund, I'll sign your stuff."
Yes.
Now, see, that's going to help a really good project. So that's just my pet peeve. I can be full of crap just like anybody else, but that's the way I feel about it.
Hey,
I mean, Bernie Wrightson signed for free till the end of his life because he remembered what it was like getting autographs from his heroes,
Yep. And
he never did it. And you have to really admire that. So that's just one of my problems, because I remember when everybody was free. So
yeah. We've entered a new world where that's kind of a thing of the past, unfortunately. If you had to think of the oldest comic you have in here, what do you think it would be?
I think I got one over here that's from the 30s.
Nice.
It's just one of those really, really neat late 30s reprint books, Captain and the Kids and that kind of stuff. It's funny you mentioned oldest comic, because that's one of the things about Eisner's that's fascinating is, he was actually had, I think it was the 5th or 6th comic book ever done with new material in it. He was in that book, and he was still around in the 90s going to conventions and talking to people.
Nice.
Wonderful guy. I mean, what can I tell you? But you want a good story?
Sure.
And here's a good story. Sitting here in this seat, these 3 guys come in from Kentucky. I've never seen these guys, and they come in. They're yahoos just like me, and they come in and they're looking around, and they're like, "Hey man, we like your store." Blah, blah. I said, "Yeah." I said, "If I can help you find anything, let me know." And then suddenly the phone rang, and I picked up the phone, and I went, "Hold on, you guys have to hold on. I got to get this call." Got the call. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, great, okay. They go, "Oh," and one of the guys goes, "Okay, knucklehead, why was that call so important?" I said, "Well, that was Al Williamson. Al Williamson called. He needed to ask me something, blah, 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 blah." And they went, "You mean Al Williamson, EC, Flash Gordon, Star Wars? Yeah, he called you?" Yeah, he's a friend of mine, blah, blah. And they went, "That's like nuts." And I said, "Well, I never got married. I ain't got any kids. I collected comics. I used to meet these guys if I had conventions, and I keep up with them, and they appreciated it." And they said, "But he called you." I said, "Well, sometimes weird shit happens, man." And suddenly, bring, the phone rings. Pick it up. "Hold on, gotta get this. Yada, 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 yada." And then one of the guy goes, "Okay, who the hell was that?" Smart ass. I said, "Well, that was Alex Toth. He had gotten a Bud Plant catalog, and he wanted to see if I could find this book for him because he wanted me to make the money. He didn't want to give the money to Bud Plant, so he wanted me to try to find this book for him." And they're like, you mean the guy who did Space Ghost and all that? He just called you? I told you, I've met a lot of people. He's a buddy of mine, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, that's like insane. I said, I know it's insane, but, hey, welcome to my world. I mean, what can I tell you? And just as I said, they said, well, they just called you. I said, sometimes the stars align. You never know what's going to happen. Bring. Hold on. Yada, 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 yada. Okay. And they go, okay, who the hell was that? I said, well, that was Will Eisner. What? Will Eisner? Are you fucking kidding me? I said, no. I said, he said, why did he call you? I said, Will was going to a convention in New Guinea and then was going to Australia, and he was going to be on the plane for like 17 or 18 hours straight, and he wanted my opinion on what he should pick up to read so he has something to read while he's stuck on this damn plane. But he called you? Well, I told you I know a lot of people. I used to be our friends. And these guys look at me and they go, we're getting the hell out of here. Screw you. We can't take it. And they said, we're scared the phone's going to ring again. And they ran out and got in their car and drove off and never saw him again. I thought I was just like, don't get mad at me. It's just that they happen to be, it just happened. What can I tell you? Sadly, they're all gone now, but, we were good friends, So,
That's cool.
What the hell?
That's really cool. Well, we appreciate you talking with us, and you guys come out to
Parts Unknown.
Parts Unknown in Greensboro. Give me that address one more time.
It's 906 Spring Garden. You can get us on Facebook at Parts Unknown. We're open 12 to 6 every day, but Sunday. Sunday's the only day we're closed. We're always here.
Awesome. Thanks
a lot. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm.